Duke is a real American hero, and he's here with a very hero-rific game, and that game is Alien Abduction for the VCS with this totally authentic, awesome label. Check out all that detail. This is, wait, digital only? Oh yeah, that's a bummer. Well, I guess we can't put this in our VCS, but let's go to our VCS, go to the online store, download it, and see how the game holds up today. Let's go to the game. Alien Abduction was published by Atari and was released as an Atari VCS digital-only exclusive on May 5th, 2023 at a price of $8.99. It is a new Atari 2600 game that takes up a whopping 9.77 kilobytes of space, so you may need to delete your copy of Atari 50 to fit it on your VCS. Alien Abduction was programmed by John Van Ryzen, programmer of the much celebrated Atari 2600 classic H.E.R.O, and Alien Abduction is very much a spiritual sequel to the game. As a matter of fact, if Atari owned the H.E.R.O IP, I would bet it would have been named H.E.R.O 2 or something along those lines. The online manual opens with the following. The princess has been abducted by aliens. As a Space Force superhero, you are going to rescue her. Your spacesuit comes equipped with jet-powered flight, an energy defense shield, and a plasma weapon. You must enter the alien spacecraft and find the princess. Watch out for armed alien robot guards. And other than some really basic instructions, that's pretty much it. And honestly, the online manual is not that great, so I'll do my best to explain the game. Alien Abduction is a multi-screen action platformer for one player only with one standard mode of difficulty. Apparently, the game contains 20 levels, which I believe is the same number of H.E.R.O, 140 play screens, and 16 obstacle types. For the controls, you use up to start flying, down to land or crouch, and press A or the right trigger to fire. Pressing the return button restarts your game at the first level. The game plays very much like the 2600 classic H.E.R.O. You make your way through each level trying to rescue someone, in this case a girl. When you rescue a girl, you move on to the next more difficult level. Sorry H.E.R.O, but the princess is in another spacecraft. You have two meters on the bottom, an energy meter and a health meter. The energy meter acts like a timer of sorts and is constantly running down at a steady rate. It seems that flying and firing your weapon have no effect on it. You could touch yellow star type objects to help refill it. The health meter goes down when you touch an enemy fires certain objects glowing floor goo and anything glowing red, including some walls. Some things seem to do more damage than others. You can gain some extra health by collecting the small red objects. There are also hearts you can collect for extra lives. If either your energy or health meter deplete, you'll lose a life. Run out of hearts and your game ends, which makes sense because it's pretty hard to live without a heart. There are no continues or passwords. This is old school. You can shoot some enemies and objects to destroy them, with some taking more hits than others to take out. There are also indestructible objects, some which will pop out of nowhere at times. Some levels will have bombs you can trigger to take out walls and obstacles by putting your weapon on them, touching them, and pressing down. Turns out your weapon makes a pretty good bomb setting off stick. How futuristic. Once triggered, you will need to get away from it before it explodes, otherwise it might cost you your life. Perhaps the biggest obstacle in the game is getting used to the flying mechanic. Once you press up to fly, when going downward you will continue to fall through floors without anything underneath them unless you press down to land. Once landed, don't push up, as this will send you back down through the floor. Just push right or left to move. However, if you float down to a floor with a wall underneath, you will land. This takes a little bit to get used to, but not much. And of course, along the way, you earn various points for beating up bad guys and completing levels. Graphically speaking, I'd say this game looks on par or a little above average than games from the mid-80s for the 2600 when H.E.R.O was originally released. There is no music, but the sound effects also fit the mid-80s era. Family-friendly wise, the game received an E for Everyone rating. So what did I think of Alien Abduction, an Atari 2600 game for the Atari VCS? This game is great. I love that the original programmer made a fresh, new 2600 game in 2023. It reminds me of another great modern release in Circus Convoy, a physical Atari 2600 game released a couple years ago. I'm honestly still trying to master the controls, but overall they're very responsive. The variety of levels and the challenges are nicely done, and they grow at a good pace. This is also one of those games that really pulls you in. You want to keep trying more and more after you fail, trying to go deeper and deeper into the game. Now, I may be in the minority, but so far I like this just as much as H.E.R.O, and maybe even a little bit more. And I think the $9 price point is solid for an original game from a legendary programmer. However, I do have a few criticisms that go beyond the game itself. The online manual could really use more detail, including naming some of the objects and enemies and describing the point system. An online leaderboard would be nice. I also wish the release was handled better. It was literally a surprise release I found out at a Discord server. This is a spiritual sequel to a much beloved game that the original programmer made almost 4 decades later. A game of this pedigree really should have gotten some more hype before its release and more fanfare when it finally did arrive, similar to how Circus Convoy was handled, and even some modern homebrews. Maybe I'm wrong and the surprise element will shock the retro community into a buzz, but I fear this monumental game may end up being unknown to many gamers, especially since it's exclusive to the VCS. Don't get me wrong, it's a great exclusive, and there's always a possibility that it could get a physical release or migrate to other platforms in the future. I just want the spiritual sequel to H.E.R.O to get the attention it deserves. Usually I rank the reviewed game against other previously reviewed games for the same system, but since I haven't reviewed any other games for the VCS as of yet, that will have to wait. But I can say this: Alien Abduction is a great game, especially for fans of H.E.R.O, and a virtual must-buy for the Atari VCS. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on the Twitter, join the Discord, and support the show at patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. And click the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, especially when flying inside alien spacecraft.